Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Voyage of Empowerment teaser. We're here, we're ready, we're empowered, and what better way to talk about empowerment than tease another amazing speaker for the Voyage of Empowerment, which is going to be an amazing opportunity to drive empowerment for you and all the people you're connected to in this world. And we'll be sailing for the Voyage of Empowerment November 12th through the 17th from Port Canaveral to Cozumel, Mexico, to Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private islands. And we will be driving empowerment across all of the differences. So before we dive in and meet our amazing speaker, remember the 4 empowerment steps guide everything that we're going to be learning about on the Voyage of Empowerment. And it also connects to all of the resources for all of our differences, but it starts with you. Empowerment will always start with you as an individual when you choose to leverage empowerment for you and other people on this planet. So definitely take the empowerment self-assessment so you can figure out where you fit in the world and drive self-empowerment to ready you to empower others. And I'll tell you, knowing others is definitely step 2. And that's where you will learn about all the other differences. And that's why I have an amazing speaker I'm going to introduce you to today, who will be bringing some differences to this world. And I'll tell you, another thing is that the strategy really matters. So as you develop your strategy on step 3, I want you to engage with my brand new differences assessment. The differences assessment helps you categorize all the 10 most common differences that we hold as humans, from gender to age to socioeconomic class, status, religion, sexuality, you name it. All of these differences are largely impacted based on empowerment. So as you're developing that strategy, remember to grab my differences assessment. If you have one of those handy dandy phones, you could literally take a picture of the QR code and it would lead you right to that link for the differences assessment so you can drive the empowerment for people. And the last thing I want you to know is that at the end of the day, it all comes down to taking action. And so we call actions empowering actions because they combine the app of empowerment with the action that you're doing as a leader. The app of empowerment is authority, power connected to people. And that world is where you'll drive the change and the impact through empowerment as a foundational way to make impacts. And together, we're going to use all these 10 actions on an amazing conference event. And I've teased it enough, but let's bring in my good pal, Cindi Grace Miller. Boom, Cindi Grace Miller is here. She's joined us. She's ready to rock and roll. She's ready to highlight. I'm so excited that you're here and that you're joining us.
I'm so excited as well. Thank you for having me. This is a privilege to be here, actually.
I know.
I can't wait to talk to people.
It's going to be so much fun. I mean, we already have people who are excited to be here with all of us. Look, we got LinkedIn users who are thrilled. We've got, look, we have Charlotte says she's stoked to be here, or they're stoked to be here. I'm just so thrilled. So I really want you to take the stage. Let us know what's going on at Cindi Grace, and I'm so excited to learn more. So I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay, great. Well, hi everybody. I'm Cindi Grace Miller. I run a company called Cindi Grace Inc. And my whole focus is to help empower both employees and individuals to create their most authentic self. And we deal a lot with trans. I've got the book on the process of transition. And so we work with companies helping them with their employees as they transition, because we've realized that even companies that have great diversity and inclusion policies, they're still a little uncomfortable with how do you deal with all the gender variances and unleash that or empower them to really work within a company structure. And to be honest with you, bathrooms and pronouns aren't enough. You really need to get into unleashing that authentic employee. But we kind of go beyond that. It's not just those who are transgender, but we want to go to every employee, because if an employer with authentic employees is an employer who actually has a bigger ROI. They have more employee satisfaction. And so that's one of the things we do with companies. But then with individuals, whether they be within the company, maybe they're professionals or C-suite executives, we help them unleash authenticity. And this is something that I'm really passionate about, because I believe that most humans on the planet are not authentic. Not just your trans employees or your LGBT employees, but most, because we have so much crap that we accumulate through life. And so we I do a workshop that I help bring out that authentic nature and then teach them how to actually live that, whatever that happens to look like. And it really does unlock your empowerment when you learn that. Most of us borrow authenticity from other people. Maybe it was from our parents, our schooling, our friends, our company. We see what people are doing and we go, that looks great. And we just start doing that. Well, I'm going to help you unlock your authenticity, whatever that looks like. And that might revolve around unlocking your true gender or your true self. Whatever it revolves around, we're going to unlock that and then unleash you on the world so that your empowerment is what is lending it to other people. And so I'm so excited for this cruise, because there's nothing I like more than authentically interacting with that. And I love this, that Charlotte says, I find as trans people, we have no choice but to look inwards and become authentic. And I can't agree with her any more. I often tell people that people of trans experience, and this is something employers should really pay attention to, we're superheroes. When you go through a transition process, it's kind of like an origin story for a superhero. You get challenged, you get pulled and stretched, but when you come out of it, you have superpowers because you have a sense of your authentic self that unfortunately most people don't get. And, it's not an instant process. You can't just flip a switch like the slide says there, but it can happen. And there's a process, and it starts by just taking that first step. And I really do believe that no matter who somebody is, whether they be anywhere under the LGBT umbrella or whether they be cis or straight, it doesn't matter. The world needs you. It needs your authentic self. The relationships, your employer, your employees. If you're showing up and you're not 100% authentic, then you're not really giving them what they need. And that's why I'm so excited, Ashley, to be a part of this cruise, because that's kind of, I live and breathe empowerment through authenticity. And I'm so excited with your material and to see how it interacts with people on the cruise. And so I'm really hoping that if you're watching this right now, that you've actually signed up for the cruise and that we get a chance to interact beyond just any kind of workshops or seminars, but personally, maybe around the pool with a Mai Tai, that we can interact with, kind of unleashing your own authenticity. And so this is just going to be a really exciting time of bringing that out and discovering your truth. So whether you are coming as an individual or you're coming as a company or HR professional, this is going to be really important and vital for you. So Ashley, I don't know where you went, but I'm really excited about our opportunity here to interact with people.
I know. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm ready. I guess the next question is people are out there wondering, how do we go on the cruise, right?
Yes,
right? I mean,
you
that's
just
kind
row
of
your dinghy out and climb up the side.
the dinghy. Hopefully, you can latch on to the back of the ship and be floating behind. You don't
Bring your
want to
water
get left
skis.
behind.
Let's go.
You don't want to get left behind, right? So
That's
there's
right.
like only 20 rooms left. So if you haven't,
Wow.
I know if you haven't thought about making a reservation now, I mean, I think that now's the time. Look at it's a world-class group of speakers who are all going to be talking about the empowering actions and the steps that you can take to unlock authenticity. You can unlock empowerment. You can do it at the same time on the Voyage of Empowerment presented by Alternative Wealth Partners. I'll tell you the other thing that you can do is join us, right? And in order to join us, you're going to get access to a lot of benefits. So it's an all-inclusive conference, of course. The all-inclusive conference comes with a laundry list of attending benefits. It's really long. So hold on, I guess I'll make the slide bigger so people can read them all.
I was reading it. I was very impressed with everything that comes. This isn't just one of these $300 cruises. This is a serious, not only vacation, but training so that you come away both relaxed and empowered.
Yeah. Yeah. So $2,000 is the retail price. There's some coupon codes that are floating out there.
If you check out my LinkedIn posts, I've got big discounts, actually.
Yeah, Cindi has a bigger discount than I'm allowed to offer from my company. They're going to get mad at me.
I don't know how that happened, but go to my LinkedIn and you'll find it.
So yeah, and so basically the actual logistics of the conference is it's $2,000, but there's coupons out there, so you'll see the coupons that are out there. And on that includes all your taxes, port fees, tips, gratuities, a balcony room on a cruise ship or better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right. It includes the empowerment conference, and includes, actually you get an empowerment kit, which has both my books, my workbook, and then you have access to my online LMS learning platform for empowerment. You'll be able to go. There's going to be a video library from all the sessions from you attending the conference. You're going to get to network, to meet all the other professionals in this space with the 10 main stage sessions. Cindy's going to be participating on one of those 10 main stage sessions during the conference. And then we're going to do a lot of really optional stuff for you to decide what's important for you to drive empowerment. So Howard Ross, the creator of the first book on unconscious bias, is going to be one of the 10 main stage speakers. And he's also going to be hosting empowerment meditation sessions daily.
Oh, fantastic.
That's just one example, but we're also going to do an empowerment excursion to a school in Cozumel, Mexico. We'll be giving treasured, empowered resources to the school. Think about what that's going to look like when we show up there with all of those resources for the students.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. So it's almost like our own empowerment mission. So that's going to be really intense as well. So yeah, and so I'm thrilled. The Voyage of Empowerment, you need to sign up today. You can click the link there at the bottom. You can go right to my website and find out the information. I do have one of those coupon codes available today, which is the VOE 100, which saves you $100 off your booking. But don't sleep on the fact that the company that you work for, if you work for a company you work for has a budget for leadership development conferences. They're sending people to the hotel in San Diego for a leadership conference. No reason why you can't submit the form, and I have the form for you. Just contact me.
Oh, it couldn't be any easier.
Yeah, I couldn't have made it any easier, right?
Well, and you know what, Ashley, if you work for yourself or you own the company, this whole thing's a write-off.
True story.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, we have some Facebook. Yeah, I'm going. Someone on Facebook says they're going. That's exciting. So if anyone has questions, me and Cindi are here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the conference and what to expect now for the rest of our time together. But if you're here and you're watching on LinkedIn, we're glad to have you. Please leave us a comment or share the live stream right now so others in your network, because sharing is a way to show empowerment of other people, of these two amazing people here. That's a good thing. But also comment and leave a question. If you have a question on something that you're hoping to discuss on the Voyage of Empowerment, leave that here so that way we can know about it and we can include that in the construct. So Cindi, what is the biggest thing that you're probably most excited for about the Voyage of Empowerment?
I think for me, it's, not only do I love to interact with people, but I love to learn. So I'm going to get a chance to learn myself and interact with all of these experts. But as you know, I do like a cocktail next to the pool or on the beach as well. So to be able to combine learning, teaching, and cocktails on the beach, I don't know, it doesn't get any better than that as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, and I have to tell you, the drinking package, whether that be the alcohol variety or the not alcohol variety, is included in your conference registration.
And that is
Because
huge because that's where they get you on a lot of
they
cruises.
always get you that way, don't they? So that's exciting. What? How about internet? Internet is important.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make you feel empowered when you have internet access?
I remember the last cruise I went on, the internet was so sketchy. It was we like going up to the top deck trying to figure things out. And I guess we didn't have the right package, but now we will.
Yes, yes, you get the internet package as well, included in your empowerment conference. So, I've been thinking about this. We have a question actually in the chat. So, let's highlight that. So, it looks like Charlotte asked a question about safety has been a big concern for all of our trans siblings, and I 100% agree with that. How can we balance vigilance with openness and warmth to others? This is big.
This is big. And I think, that's one of the things that's good about a cruise like this, because you're going to be fairly safe on this cruise with people that are there and accepting so that you can be that open and have that there. So I think that's a real benefit to trips like this.
Well, I can address the in relation to the cruise. I'll tell you, I have had meetings with the safety team. So I went on and site visited the cruise, and yes, I mean we're both from we have I'm trans. If anybody didn't know, I'm very open about that. It is one of my 10 most common differences that I hold as a human. And but I do worry about that. Every day in the world, a transgender person is murdered. It's a sad statistic. We surpassed more than 400 transgender murders now every year. So that means every day, basically, somebody is murdered. So, I mean, I know that that's real. So for me, when I did the site visit, I had a meeting with the security team, and I said, hey, our events need to have a better eye on them. And so they're going to have a dedicated security representative for our conference and our group. And that means wherever we go on the ship, and then if we go to the excursion, I will have a dedicated person who will be in charge of security for us as well in Cozumel and in Coco Cay Island. So that's really important to me. I want all of my siblings to be comfortable on the voyage of empowerment. And I have to tell you also this. Don't think that the dates aren't lost on me. The fact that it's part of Trans Awareness Week that we're doing this conference, because I think it's important to bring light and visibility. Now, yes, it's not a trans con,
right,
but it's an empowerment conference for all. And it's an opportunity, though, to empower a community that much needs it by an entrepreneur from that community. And then also think about what happened from the coronavirus pandemic and which industry was so affected by the travel and tourism block.
Yeah, almost all of travel, especially cruises.
And who does the cruise line predominantly employ?
Who?
Queer.
Oh, really?
People of color around the world.
Okay, see, I'm learning right now.
So that's who's working on these cruise ships, is people from all types of countries. It's not typically atypical white people from America working on cruise lines. I hate to break it to you. It's people who are marginalized from other communities and other countries in the world who need our support and need our empowerment. And you know what? They are so appreciative. I was on this cruise and they were blown away on the fact that we were there. And they're going to feel the same way when you're there. But
I'm going to jump in because I think that when anybody, trans or otherwise, shows up authentically, and this is why, anybody who's transitioned has such a power, but anybody, when we show up authentically in a space, it actually, in very tiny ways, unleashes a little bit of authenticity in everybody else. I like to say when you take off your mask, you give permission to everybody else to take off their mask, and that just makes a better place. So this cruise is all about unleashing that and taking off the masks and not only empowering each other, but empowering the crew.
Yeah. But Cindi, can you address that question from Charlotte just a little bit deeper as it relates just to general? Because I know that this was really big about what your business does and helping people really navigate any kind of transition. But
Yeah, and I take and I know Charlotte actually. She actually
okay.
is a safety expert. We should probably ask her. Um, and But one of the things that a lot of, it's one thing to make sure you have security guards and things in place, but as an individual, it's confidence is huge. If you show up in a space and you're projecting an energy that is unsure, that is not, you're scared, you actually begin to attract things that will add to your lack of confidence or your fear. So you want to come into a space, and I know you know how to do this, Ashley, to own the space, to be totally confident as to who you are. And so whether you're anywhere within the LGBT community, especially, you got to know who you are so that you can show up and go, I'm here. It doesn't mean that we don't pay attention to those physical things, those safety items, but safety starts with you. Wherever you're at in the world, you got to show up and let people know that you are confident. And I tell you what, when you show up confident, people take notice.
Yeah. The confidence in my research on empowerment, confidence lives in the authority portion of empowerment. So the definition of empowerment is authority and power connected to people. That's actual empowerment. So the authority bucket is where confidence lives. Those are all the human part of human resources is all of the authority building items. So on this conference, I'm going to have specialized activities that garner the authority building for you in your life.
Excellent.
And those are going to be empowerment accountability sessions. We're going to be doing an empowerment audit. So that way you can quantify where the authority lives in your life. And the authority is all of those things that are really sometimes hard to track as well for humans. The power bucket of empowerment is super easy to track. It's everything that's a numeric metric. So it's how much time we spend together. It's the money. It's the revenue. It's an RFP. It's an RFQ. It's the P&L statement. It's the monetization. It's the amount of people that you're connected to. It's the amount of followers you have. All of those things are power items in empowerment, and they're easy to track because there's a number involved. So just delineating that between empowerment is a lot of stuff that we're going to work on for this conference together. One of the things that I really loved about you and me and our partnership and stuff is that we're both authors. So
Yes.
I published a book, but you just published a book too. So can you talk about that for a moment too?
I sure can. So here's the book. It's called Gender Transition, Where to Start and How to Thrive. And this book is actually the only book like it in existence. So I have a therapy background, a master's in psychology, but I've also gone through the journey of transition myself. And so I wrote this book. There's a lot of books where people tell their story, and that's wonderful. This isn't my story. This book is a how-to from start to finish to not just transition and survive, but transition and thrive. Because that's important. When you're thriving, when you're putting that out there into the universe, into the world, you're actually helping everybody else who maybe is still in the closet. By the way, Ashley, I don't know if you know this, but the Transgender Center for Law estimates that between 2 and 5% of the world's population is transgender. Now, most of those still in the closet. Most of those are in your companies, and they're just scared of what they're going to risk coming out. And so these books, I told somebody that I was interviewing with recently, I said, every company needs like 10 or 15 of these books in the HR office. And anytime somebody says, hey, I'm coming out, or this is who I am, you need to hand them one of these books because it will walk them through not just the physical stuff, but I focus a lot, and you know this, I focus a lot on the emotional and mental side of transition because I think that's about 70 to 80% of it, is getting our thoughts and our strategy together, our emotions in the right place to unleash our authenticity, our true gender. That's really important. So I really cover all of that in this book. and just kind of walk them through. It's really, I like to say, transitioning for dummies. I make it really simple. This is what you do.
So when someone gets your book, they read your book, and then they engage in this world and they start to unleash their authenticity, or maybe they're a little bit afraid to do that still. Tell me a little bit about this transverse, because I feel like that's a really good compliment.
Okay. Yeah, so I do provide private coaching and therapy to individuals to kind of help them, because even if you know everything, sometimes you need somebody to hold your hand and walk you through it. But I realize that when it comes especially to those in the trans community, it's often done in secret because they're scared to death to let anybody know. So I actually created something that I call the Transverse. It's an avatar-based virtual world where members can join. They create their avatar however they want to look, whatever name they want. They can come into the space, and I can actually talk to them. We provide coaching and therapy, but there's also rooms throughout this universe where there's education, videos, all kinds of things. And then we're hoping to have workshops as well, where we have experts like yourself come in and teach our members. So we have a classroom within our Transverse where they can do it. So it's not just so much about therapy or community, it's about education. Because when you know the right stuff, you can begin to create a strategy. And I'm a huge proponent of strategy. Don't just jump in and hope it works out. Create a strategy and then work that thing just like you do in anything else in life. And so the Transverse is something we just launched. It's really a pioneer kind of thing. It's a new concept for many people to put their heads around, but I think it's really needed.
That's so exciting. Oh my goodness. There's so much going on in our world. We've got books, we've got the Transverse, we got the Voyage of Empowerment. In case you were wondering how to make your reservation, you go to click the reservation link on the screen. Or you can go to empoweringdifferences.com and you can click the link. There's a big ship that's in the middle of the page there. And that will take you there. This has been really great. We got some more chat in the chat box from some actually oh my goodness, Cindi Miller, I see you. She's one of the speakers for Voyage.
I know. I actually saw her when she was with you on one of these. I can't wait to meet her.
You know, you can't have just one Miller when you can have two. Right?
That's right. Exactly.
But no, this is going to be great. And I love seeing the work that she does. So this, I mean, like literally when I said we have some world-class speakers, I was not kidding. I mean, this lineup is, I'm telling you right now, I'm just blown away at how many people were so thrilled to take part, participate in this conference. So it's definitely one of those ones that you do not want to miss.
No, you need to beg, steal, or borrow. Do whatever whatever you got to do to get there with us.
Yeah, and you know, I have to tell you also, we do have a scholarship as well. So if there are people watching and you're thinking,
cool.
I'm never going to be able to go on that, so I can tell you that personally, Empowering Differences, Ashley Brundage Enterprises, I'm paying for 2 people to come on to the Voyage of Empowerment myself. And then one of my other speakers, Dr. Carswell Pitts, is paying for 1 scholarship attendee as well. So it's kind of like that whole drive-through, pay it forward, but
you know what though? I love that you're doing that, because I remember the first conference I ever went to. It was in Vegas, and this was actually the start of a major transformation in my life. And I remember I actually called, this was pre-internet, I called the guy who was in charge of it, and I said, listen, I can't afford. And he gifted me the seminar, but he says, you have to get here. So I had a plane ticket, but I didn't have a hotel. I was prepared to sleep on the casino floor, and it was like 3 days before the conference that I was able to get the money to get into an adjoining hotel just to go to this conference, and it changed my life. So yeah, you got to do what you can, and those scholarships are huge.
Yeah, and actually, ironically, you know, since we are talking about the trans community, I know we're wrapping up, but this last weekend I was at the the transfusion conference in Detroit, which was really amazing. I actually sponsored the scholarship for the conference this year, which was really
Oh,
cool.
fantastic.
And those attendees and I chatted this weekend. It was so great to meet them and personalize my books for them. And they were like, I would have never been able to be here in this space. And it was really cool because it was at the Dearborn Inn, which was owned and managed and run by J.W. Marriott himself, and Henry Ford walked those walkways, and Thomas Edison did as well. That was literally where they stayed every time they were in Detroit, Dearborn, Ford Motor Company plant. It was just really neat to see all of the people with their authenticity walking amongst those same hallways.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was so powerful. So yeah, and we're gonna have that moment on the Voyage of Empowerment.
I know we are.
We're gonna be walking the same hallways with all of us unleashing every single thing about our 10 most common differences and how we come to life and show up in this moment.
Only if you're there, though.
Only if you're there.
Otherwise, you just miss out.
So, it's pretty cool. I know that we're a little bit over, but you know what? I think I have a video that talks a little bit about what might happen when we're on the amazing on an island somewhere. Here we go. Come on an empowerment journey with me. I will take you anywhere in this world, and empowerment will always begin and end with you.
So, I'm ready to go right now.
It begins and it ends with you. So you are the one that makes the determination on where you go in this world and how you navigate.
That's 100. It's always your choice.
You are the barrier that exists. Yep. So Cindi Grace Miller, I am so glad that you've graced me with your presence. And I cannot wait to see you in person and give you a hug at some point. Maybe this weekend.
Maybe. I'll take you for a ride in my new car.
Yes, you have to do that. And we're going to talk capability statements.
Excellent.
Together we're going to the NGLCC conference in August.
Right here in just a few weeks.
I know. So if you haven't registered, I think there's almost sold out. So you better do that. So quick NGLCC plug there. But no, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. And I'm so thrilled to partner with you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I can't wait.
All right. I'll see you all soon on the other side.